Hi, Dr. Marian Owen with Whole Family Medicine, and I have a confession to make. It has been a long time since our last video, and if you haven't yet read the piece by Susan above, I think you should, and then come back to this. Um, I read that in early January when she sent it to me for the January newsletter. I had forgotten what it said because I never did a January newsletter, and then I didn't do a February newsletter, and then I thought I need to do something on this COVID inertia that I have, and I planned this video, and I had all my little notes written out, what I want to say, and then I was getting the newsletter ready, and I realized, oh, Susan's already written that. But did that stop me? No, that did not stop me because I have some other things to say. And I think we've all kind of, or at least I'm seeing in a lot of us, a exhaustion, an emotional exhaustion, a intellectual exhaustion. We're just kind of done figuring out how to entertain ourselves. At the beginning of COVID, we all had this mission, this passion. We're going to get through this. We're going to do what's required. We're going to hunker down in our homes. We're going to start new projects. And the room that I'm sitting in, we totally redid this room so I could have a place to work out of at home and to do the watercolor that I told you guys I started doing. And it was great. There was all this, kind of positive energy around getting through something hard. I was walking a lot. I was going up to see my dad a lot. I was painting. I was doing creative stuff in the kitchen. It was all good. And then just 24 months is a long time to maintain personal energy, personal drive, when there's not enough kind of external feedback, talking about it with people, sharing ideas and passions with other people. And it just, at least for me, slowly wore away. I got to a point in the fall where I was barely out taking walks even on the weekends. I kind of got lazy about planning our weekly menu. I stopped painting. My husband and I stopped singing together, which is another thing that I like to do. And just blah. It just fell into a blah. And I'm seeing that in a lot of y'all too. So I thought I would kind of talk about that process and kind of the work or the things that I've done that have really turned that around. I would say in the last month, I've been feeling much, much gradually and progressively more alive again. And part of that, sometimes you just have to recognize that that's where you are. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't sad. I'm not crying. There was nothing bad in my life, except I was just sick of it. Sick of talking about COVID, sick of making these decisions and thinking about it all the time. And so everything just kind of shut down. So the thing that for me has always been my first kind of joy, my first leap, has always been an intellectual challenge. So back in December, Susan and my sister Catherine, who's a family practice doctor up in Virginia, who also does functional medicine, and I set a date where we were going to get together. Even though we couldn't go to big conferences, the three of us got together in the mountains of North Carolina and did just a good primary care review, going through all the different labs that we use and should we still be using them or should we be changing them? And we had just this 3 days of intense, topic-driven conversations that were enlivening and fun, and we just had a great time. And from that, I started to just feel my wheels turning more and more, like having some connection to something that's important to me. And I kind of immediately, a result of some of the conversations we had, realized that I had let mindfulness practices leave my life. So since then, for the last 3 weeks, every weekday, I have woken up a half hour earlier than I typically would. And I've done the app that I'm using is called Healthy Minds, and I would recommend it highly. I think Susan has mentioned a different product up above that she's really felt has been helpful. And I think there's a lot of great mindfulness material out there. I'm not specifically saying you have to do Healthy Minds, but that's the one I'm doing because I'm very goal oriented and it has goals. I'm almost done with the first lesson and I like to be able to check things off. So it's working for me. So every day I do a lesson from Healthy Minds, and then I'm doing just 2 rounds, not hours and hours, 2 rounds of a yoga practice called Sun Salutation. It's a very simple, full body, very easy movements. And then I'm getting dressed and going out and having a cup of coffee and sitting on the couch. I had just been sleeping a half hour longer and then getting up and getting dressed and having a cup of coffee on the couch. I'm still getting to work late, but my energy is different when I'm sitting down and having my coffee. Instead of just slogging into the day and clearing out my email, I'm enlivened, I'm ready. My body feels good, my brain feels open, I feel relaxed. And it's just something's changed. It's different and it's positive. All through COVID, I've been knitting, but I'm enjoying it more. Because of these changes, I find that I get home from work and I want to go for a walk. My mood is better, my humor is better. Just all of these things are kind of coalescing. And I think it's because I just made the first positive change. And so that's why I'm sharing all of this personal crap with you, is because I want to encourage you to figure out what is the thing that motivates you, and can you add that? If you are stuck like I was stuck, look for the thing that you like to do. Remember what that was, the thing that would charge you up, that you'd want to call someone about, and try to put a little bit of that back into your life. And I think that the brain goes, oh, and then once it's doing that, it wants to put more and more of that back in. So if you've got COVID inertia, I invite you to explore that, to figure out what you need to put back, what's missing. And I hope that you have success in that journey. And if you don't and you're feeling really stuck, please seek counseling. There are many providers out there. If you're not sure why you're stuck or where you're stuck, and you know you're not depressed, you don't need medicine, you just need something. Maybe you need a little therapy to help jog you in the right direction, an accountability partner, someone who can work with you to help you figure out what's missing. So that's it. I hope that you enjoy this beautiful spring. It is wonderful that that's happening. I'm so glad I live in Georgia. And I hope that you figure out a way to get your flowers blooming again, and be well.